President Bola Tinubu arrives plenary, the session of the African Union observes a minute of silence to honor the memory of President Hage Geingob of Namibia, who died on the 4th of February. The theme of the year's summit is Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century, building resilient education systems for increased access to inclusive, lifelong, quality and relevant learning in Africa. President Tinubu will also attend an extraordinary summit of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African States in his capacity as the chairman of the regional body. Now, back here in Nigeria, the organized labor says it will hold a two-day national protest on the 27th and 28th of February over government's failure to fulfill the October 2023 agreement. The Congress insists on the 14-day ultimatum as it mobilizes members for a nationwide strike after March 2nd. TVC News Joke Adisa reports.
14-day ultimatum issued by Nigeria's two leading labor centers last week expires on the 22nd of the month. Ahead of the expiration, the Nigeria Labour Congress holds a National Executive Council meeting to assess government's response and take concrete decisions. NLC President Joe Ajaero conveys the resolution of the Congress. He accuses the government of not doing enough to keep to its signed agreements and make life more bearable for the people. Joe Ajaero insists the ultimatum, which lapses next week, subsists.
As the February 22 approaches, in this light, the urgency of the situation, in view of the urgency of the situation and continued suffering the Nigerian people and workers have faced, NEC in session calls for immediate action from federal government to ratify these grievances and restore faith in the democratic process and social dialogue.
He announces NLC's plan of action to include a likely nationwide strike after March the 2nd.
If our demands are not met after the nationwide protest, to issue a 7-day notice that will expire on the 2nd day of March 2024 to the federal government, after which an indefinite nationwide strike will ensure that Nigerian workers and people are not interested in the empty talk now, but action.
He also gives an indication that the Congress will no longer give in to the review of the minimum wage every 5 years. Mr. Ajaero says minimum wage should now be reviewed every 12 calendar months.
Why are we scared when we say pay a worker 1 million, when those in National Assembly are collecting 16, 17, 30 million? Why can't a worker get 1 million? In a situation whereby you need a bag full of naira to get a handful of goods. So let nobody be scared about that. And the minimum wage, we're going to insist for the review to be annual. Or else if you collect any money and the value of the currency is changing per hour, it will not make any sense, and it will be illogical, to return that amount for the next 4 or 5 years.
The aggrieved lawmakers now want President Bola Tinubu to pull out his magic wand once again so that the party's influence in the state does not wane, especially in the light of the forthcoming governorship election in Ondo State. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.